I've been busy filling orders because guess what? Last week, oh my gosh, y'all went crazy on us. We dropped our new t-shirt, the Homegirls Moving Adelante, and it did amazingly well. Thank you.
Thank you
And
so
thank you,
much.
Amber Tilden and Loss, who help us to get this out and about and do amazing things.
Another t-shirt that we kind of secretly launched.
Mm.
It was a soft launch that also did remarkably well. Our gold kind of classy, kind of chola shirt also dropped at the shop. We have our gold and our silver metallic ink kind of classy, kind of chola. And that shirt does remarkably well. Everyone loves that shirt. So thank you so much. That was actually the shirt that won me over to Sparkles.
I'm wearing the gold one and I love it. And I normally wear pink lipstick or red. Y'all know that. But I tried something new. Look at me. I put some gold lipstick.
What our entire newsletter is about is the golden opportunities.
We're talking about golden living, golden lifestyle. And for me, when I hear the word golden or I hear, Jill Scott singing about the golden life,
Mm-hmm,
it's
mm-hmm.
such an uplifting song because for me, it's like, wow, we have every day to make that opportunity. Even when it kind of starts out sucky or it starts out real good and ends up real sucky, the truth is that as long as we're living and we're doing our thing, it's still golden.
I was talking to Sparkles earlier on in the week that a piece of publicity that we were really looking forward to came out, and we were kind of like, it was we were a little deflated of how it came out. Like we were so excited to tell our story, and then it was like, it wasn't what we expected it to be. And rather than go ahead and falling into the toilet, we looked at it as an opportunity, as a way to refine how we tell our stories. One of the things that we discovered this year, I think it's been a year of learning how to tell the story. We
Right.
started the year off with 30 inspiring women, and each of these women had an incredible story. And so many of these women had not even told their stories. Some of them hadn't told their stories at all. Some of them didn't really think they had a story. And some of them began to uncover their story through the podcast, through the questions. And so this week, as I started writing this blog, I started really thinking, like, what is the Living Firme story? It's about women's empowerment. It's about empowerment of people in general. Of course, we're women,
That's
so we
right.
think women, we're blooming where we're planted. We know women, we are women, but really empowering our entire community,
Right.
empowering our neighborhoods, instilling a sense of pride in who we are, and also in what's available in our neighborhood, and putting a spotlight on all of the little businesses, all of the mom and pop shops that are working to keep the neighborhood alive and invigorated. And that's really what we're about. And that's our story. And our story is unfolding. And we want to help others to uncover their story as well.
Well, seeing Amber's name out there, Amber happens to be one of those small businesses that we're talking about. She's an independent artist. She's local here in California, close to the LA area. And she's an amazing artist. She does all these really cute, mostly like black and white with hints of color designs, but her work is so unique. It's so different. And I think that that's what's the beauty of her artwork. It's so distinct because when you see her she makes a lot of like cartoon characters, I would say. And they're very, when you look at them, they're voluptuous little characters and they're just really cute and cholita and cholito, but yet it's very positive what she does. And I think that that's why I love her artwork so much. That's like her little title that she puts on her characters.
It's reminiscent, it's soft, it's just so many things. It reminds you of like when you're a
Yes.
teenager and you're writing notes to each other. The other thing about Amber too, that I found really cool was she was one of those people that was like, kind of like not really fully aware of her own magnificence. Like I started asking Amber a bunch of questions, and it was just so casual that she's like, oh yeah, I have a math degree and an art degree. And it's like, what? to her it's nothing, but to me I'm like, first of all, because I was horrible in math, so anybody
Me
who has
too.
a math degree is like, oh. We get used to our own story. We have been told as a people, don't brag. You can be humble and also proud of the things that you've done, not so proud that you go tripping into nonsense and losing your mind, but
Right.
proud of yourself enough to encourage other people that they can do it too. And that was one of the great things about, like, you sort of have all these gems. We have all of these gems in our community, and we get to like dust them off and shine them up and shine light. This is not something that we invented. I mean, these women have all done incredible things all on their own. We're just shining
Mhm.
that light. We're taking the dust off of their history so that they even find it surprising that we're so excited about it.
They already lived it. For us, it's new. You can Google her name. Her name will pop up. What's her IG? It's Spiderface Tilden.
Ms. Spiderface Tilden. So we were just talking about that too, and like really having all of those things in order. So when people say, "Oh, so where can we find you?" Well, we're available in all of these different platforms, and that's another thing that when we do events, one of the things I always want to tell Sparkles is before they get excited to even come to the show, make sure they have Facebook, make sure they have Instagram, because we're going to start blasting. We're going to start talking
Right.
about their businesses. We want them to have pictures online so people get excited to see their stuff.
Sure.
Somebody who does an incredible job marketing, and she is like a marketing goddess. I just love her, and that's Kathy Cano Murillo.
Oh
She
my
is the crafty
gosh.
chica, and she has built an empire. And
Yeah.
she is the most humble person you can ever meet, but she's an incredible storyteller, and she's gotten comfortable enough with sharing herself, not to the point where you think she's big-headed, but to the point where you're like enamored with her and fascinated that she can be so productive. At the We All Grow conference that we did a couple of weeks ago, she was in charge of the storytellers, and she did an incredible job. These were women from all, and one man too, and he was incredible. He was so bold and powerful. But there were all of these stories that were just completely different, and they had different characters. Some were funny, some were more serious, more dramatic. The point is that Kathy helped them to craft this story, and you realized how important it is for a person to be able to express themselves and share a part of themselves and connect, because storytelling is how we make those connections. So whether you have a business or not, this isn't about just people with businesses, although storytelling is important in
Right.
business. Everybody has a brand. If you're
Right.
dating, guess what? You're a brand.
That's
You
right.
you're if you're on social media, period. If you're a mom and you're working at the PTA, or if you have a small shop, or if you have a job, or you're going to look for a job, or you're a college student, this ability to storytell is so important. And
Yes.
it also just gives you a sense of confidence when you're able to tell this story, and to tell it with a sense of pride and confidence.
Mm.
um, it does something for your inside. It really changes you.
And someone might be watching right now and they say, well, I don't have a story. No, we all have a story. If right now you're like literally like down to negative 0 pennies, and but yeah, we all have a story, and it's just so amazing that when we start to tell our stories, how much we find out that we're all so much alike. It doesn't matter whether you're living on the big house on the hill or if you're literally homeless. You get two people and you start listening to them talk, we're very much alike. And I think that that's where we just taking the time to get involved with your community and just start to really get involved with speaking with others, and just, I have no shame in my games. Like wherever we go, I'll be like, hi, y'all. Tell me a little bit about yourself. And they're looking at me like, what the hell? But guess what? They end up telling me their story, and their stories are always amazing. And I just fell in love with our community. And I think that's why I enjoy doing so many things in the community, because you just want to keep spreading the love.
You hit on something really important too, Sparkles. Sometimes we're ashamed. We're ashamed of where we've been. and that prevents us from telling a story. And you know, that makes me emotional because I've dealt with shame in my life, and it wasn't until I was able to, oh my gosh, I was able to overcome that, that life started opening up for me, that I started to realize, like, if I share where I've been, it might help somebody else. It might help them, either prevent them from going down that same path, or encourage them that they don't have to be in that path anymore. We're all these things, all our circumstances, everything happens for a reason. Don't waste your suffering. It's like the hero's journey. It's like you're having this epic story of your life written. So if you're out there right now and you are in a dark place, or you are struggling and you don't feel like, gosh, you're wanting to tell this story, one, I want you to remember back to a time where, hey, you know what, things were good. This is how life is. Sometimes it's ups and downs and ups and downs, and it's all
Right.
a part of your magnificent story unfolding. Do not lose hope. Do not give up. You are a miracle in the works. And maybe you're in a valley right now, but there are ways up and out and through the valley that can blow your mind, and they can make in it can just affect your life and all of the lives around you.
When we say that we all have a story, and I think now that we're starting to understand with so much things going on, it's beautiful to share our story. So if you are interested in saying, your story, and you feel like, well, where do I even get started? Even start writing it down, writing down your story, and then read it back to yourself after you've written it. And you'll be surprised what you read back to yourself, and you'll find out that you're an amazing person. Because a lot of times we don't give ourselves credit
Absolutely.
for our accomplishments. And our accomplishments could even be like, wow, I lost 50 pounds. It took me forever to lose. Or um, that you struggled with depression and you made it out of bed today. You know what? Then that is an accomplishment. Because
Yes,
I don't
been
suffer in
there.
that department, but I'm starting to get a lot of messages from people that suffer through depression. And, I never realized how it's just something that can be even so hard to leave their homes. So if you left your home today just to take your child to school or whatever, kudos to you. And just keep going, because little by little you can get yourself out of this. And Angel has her story, and that's part of it, because, depression, I would have never dreamed that this woman been depressed, because y'all know she's like, whoa. But we all have an issue.
Yes, and the cool thing is that when I was going through it, oh my gosh, there I couldn't really see a reason for why this would happen to me, but my level of compassion just grew exponentially. I can't begin to understand people that have dealt with this for years and years and years. Um, because even dealing with it for short bouts just was so tragic. But one thing I do know is that, um, there is hope, and don't ever stop trying. Don't ever stop trying to get out of it. And I couldn't believe I was depressed either, because I never was a depressed person. But it can happen to anyone. And I think that we definitely all have to grow in our level of compassion and our understanding of what
Yes.
mental health is, of what hormonal health is, um, and really start to expand our minds and talk about it more. We need to, these weren't things that we used to talk about back in the day, you know? We were a very, very hush hush culture.
Hush, hush, our culture. Y no estás hablando, y no le digas nada a la vecina. Ay, 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 por favor, mom. Guess
Yes,
what? I'd be
exactly.
like, girl. But yes, I mean, that was part of our culture. You're right. And guess what? They already know. So you know what? Go on ahead and just tell them so they can get the facts straight. Be
Exactly.
real.
And hey, the other thing is that if you know someone's depressed, you're not responsible for their depression. This is the truth. But What if you know someone's depressed and you can just say, hey, let me check on them? Do you know that that might save somebody's life just for that day? A few months ago, I lost a friend to suicide, and it was so devastating because this person was so young and so beautiful and so incredibly talented, but she struggled with a deep, deep sickness and a depression. And when people wrote things to her family, and some people were horrible, they had no understanding and no level of compassion. So when I look back at my darkest times, I say, thank you. Like, I can actually say, thank you. Thank you, because I realized how far away I was from understanding that because I'd never been through it. But now
Right.
that I've been through it, I have a new understanding of it. I'm not going to judge anybody. I was a person where I was like, oh, you don't take medication. Now, I don't feel that way about anything now. I feel like everybody has to make their own decisions on how to live their life. And the best thing I can do as a person is be compassionate. If I can call somebody, if I remember, sometimes I have friends that are struggling now, and I'll say, oh my gosh, let me text this person. Maybe just that one text. Maybe it won't, but
Right.
I have it on my conscience like, hey, you know what? Today I can be encouraging to one person.
That's
Today I
right.
can tell somebody I am thinking about you. And sometimes that's something that's what that person needs just for that day.
You might not be the person that's depressed, but say, for example, it's your son, your daughter, or a husband, spouse, whatever it may be, a close family member, and you've tried talking to them and you tried to tell them, if you need help, blah, 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 whatever it is, and you see that you're just not getting through. A lot of times, that's the issue that we as a family member, we love them, and for some reason they just don't, when we try to reach out, they're not getting it from us. You get what I'm saying? They're not receiving it from us. So if you are a prayer warrior, pray for somebody to come into their life to just be the one to help them. And if you're not, someone that's into praying or anything like that, but then you know what you can do is you know somebody that's been through them, call them, tell them, hey, can you reach out to my friend? Talk to them. There's other ways that you can try to reach out to family members that give you a tough time when you speak to them. Because it's amazing that some people, they'll receive it from a complete stranger.
It's
And
true.
you know what?
So
And that's
true.
okay, as
Yes.
long as they get the help that they need. So I think that this was just a really great time for us to talk about this and say that, you know what? It's okay. Um, Even to love people from afar, because we're starting to realize there's some people that might be not ready to receive from you, but you just keep on loving them and praying for them, and like we said, whatever it is, but you just never give up. Don't give up,
Yes.
even on yourselves.
We don't talk about our faith, and we don't push our faith on people, or we're really firm believers in that, and everybody should have their own relationship with
Right.
whatever they believe in. But we definitely believe in prayer, and some people will call it prayer, some people will call it affirmations, some people will call it mantras. Whatever it is that you call it, there is a power in speaking these words, speaking words of healing over yourself, over one another. I think that in some cases we've forgotten to go back to that, and it is powerful. It's not just biblical because that's our frame of reference, but every philosophy in the world talks about how powerful the word is, the spoken word. And if you do speak words of, again, health and prosperity, you will be shocked of how you raise your own energy. And if you are bold enough to speak it in front of the person who is afflicted, the energy changes. It's
Yes,
amazing.
it is.
I see Laura is on, and she was saying definitely prayer, higher power, whatever works. Whatever works. It's like by
Right.
whatever means necessary, especially when
Exactly.
you're struggling. You know what I'm saying? You grasp whatever you can grasp.
That's
And
right.
Laura definitely is one of those people too, where she works with a lot of homeless people, a lot of people that are struggling, a lot of
Yeah.
people that are in a lot of pain. And she runs into people who are tempted to get bitter, who don't want to receive the help, but she keeps at it.
That's
She is
right.
a person, like, she puts drops in the bucket, drops in the bucket, drops in the bucket. She's not about the result in what she's doing. She's doing what she's called to do, which is just to be of service. That's how she was raised. That's her highest calling.
Yeah.
So if somebody doesn't receive it, she's going to do it anyway. She's going to keep giving. And if that person doesn't take it, she's going to give to the next person. That's, and this is with resources, with love, with whatever someone needs. And you can see how her organization has blossomed and how many people have one come out of the woodwork to help also, because they realize that you don't have to have everything in order to help. And
Right.
and also the amount of healing that comes from being of service. And two, on the other side, the people who were so hurt and who were so afraid to trust have totally turned around and changed, because this group of people have been willing to help them for out of nothing, like for no reason. They don't want anything back. They're not looking for praise. They're not looking for money.
Right.
They're not
They
looking to
don't do
get
this for
paid back.
kudos.
They're just doing what they have to do
Right.
from their heart.
Right. And right now that you said that, it's so important that we do talk about this because, that's one thing about Angel and I that we both love reach outs. We met on a reach out and we do a lot of things on our private sector, doing reach out and whatever we can do to help other people. And we don't go and announce everything that we do. Sometimes we announce it because we do know one thing for sure, that we have this platform that we're able to get on and share with people. And it's not to brag, it's to motivate people and to share with others that there's communities that they can go to help if they're interested or if they need help. Then we put
Yes.
out Laura's information. I'm sure if you needed help and you went to Laura's online, services, she'd find a way to help you. But how would you know if we don't talk about it? So please don't get it twisted when you hear us say these things, because we do it so that we can bring awareness to what is available in our communities and who's involved and how you can make connections if you want to help or if you need to receive the help.
Yes, and when Laura did her interview, it was so awesome because she burned up the internet. Like, her podcast did so well. Everyone just loved listening to it because she's so humble. She's just normal. She's like,
Hmm.
I didn't have any special skill set to do this. It was
She
just
just took after
literally,
her father. Her father
yes,
was a giver.
she literally just started doing something. And even she said, like, even if you go to a resource center and you pick up a bunch of paperwork and you hand it out, that's doing something. That is 100% free. All it
Right.
requires is thought power. Now, when you say thoughts are things and the power of your thoughts can really, really change lives, it's true. Because Laura literally said, you know what? Let me pick up some of these papers because I don't know who I'm going to run into, but I have these job resource papers. I have these shelter. I have these trainings. I have a bunch of resources. And so I may not have something to give of monetary value right then and there, but I
Right.
have all of this hope and all of this thoughtfulness. And that means everything, because that can change somebody's life. Hey, you know
Right.
what? I was thinking about you. Don't
Hmm.
be discouraged. You don't feel like you're
Right.
properly trained. They have free training here. Why don't you all I'm going to do is I'm going to give you this paperwork, and if you
Right.
feel like this may be for you, I was thinking about you. Oh,
Right.
I know I say the word magical a lot because that's always the way it seems. It seems so supernatural and so
Right.
magical and so wonderful when love is in the works, when the power of love is at work.
Right.
Sometimes people say shit happens, but you know what? Good happens too.
Yeah, and a lot of good things happen more than bad things. It's just that, sometimes we don't see it because,
Yeah.
good things come in, even just saying that, you have money to put gas in your car today or even pay your insurance. I mean, that's a good thing. So, because a lot
It's
of
an
people want,
awesome thing. Right.
yes, people want like these big, amazing things to say their life's good. No, if you're able to pay some bills right now, you're doing good because there's a lot of people that wish they were in that boat. And one of the things I do want to say is this, is that if you're watching and you're in a different state, a different city, and you say, well, I don't have time to do all these things. It sounds really great. But I have resources. So then if you have resources, then Laura has a lot of friends. She got homegirls. And what she does is she has her sister, Nene, gets involved, and Nene will post things about jobs that are available. Her friend Julie and all her friends that are out there, they literally just post jobs. They post things. They post if they need prayer. They even tell why they need prayer, when they need it. And you know what? That's a smart thing, because you know what? Sometimes you just need to do that, and you just need the help. They just post it. And I mean, it's amazing what you can do. And there's a palabra. I remember, how as Latinos have dichos. And the dicho would be like, si no hablas, Dios no te oye. And it's kind of true, because if you don't ask or you don't say something, how's people going to know to help you?
But
How
again, that comes
would it?
from like putting down the kind of pride that prevents you from getting the help that you need. And a lot of it
Right.
comes from a distrust. You don't want to be judged. You don't want to, but there does come a time, and this is one thing I have to say about getting older. The other day, my kids, just today, I think it was, my kid said something, and I was like, I don't have time for that. Like, I'm too old. Literally, I'm like, I'm too old for that. Like, and I don't feel like I'm old, like I look crazy. I don't feel vieja, but I feel too old to be ashamed about certain things. I feel too old to
Right.
be like ashamed about
Playing games.
nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that
Yeah.
is one thing that I can say, like, my period of darkness and depression did for me too. Like, I was always a servant. So to be a servant on the other side, where I was depleted, and I was in this darkness and felt like I had nothing to give, that was so humbling. But at the same time, it taught me, like, you better speak to save your life.
Closed mouths don't get fed. What you talking, girl? We
It's
haven't.
true. It's
Yes, it's so
true.
true.
And it's in every area. Like, we need physical food, but we also need mental food. We
Right.
also need spiritual food. And again, it doesn't matter what it is that you personally believe. Like, there is spirit, and everybody needs to feed their spirit. So it's feeding it with positivity, feeding your mind with positivity. If you want to get great at something, you're gonna read the kind of books that you need. You're going to
Right.
practice. We forget how important it is to practice a mindset of positivity and moving forward. We have become accustomed to bad news being like the news standard. Nobody wants to hear, oh, hey, guess what? I had a great day. I got to put gas in my car. That does not sell ad space.
Right.
They're not going to put that news on CNN, but that is good news. Like, you live today. There's people that go into remission from cancer every day, but they're not on the news. And when you go
Right.
into remission from cancer, anybody who has had a relative who has had cancer knows that that is a damn miracle.
That's
Yes, it
right.
is a miracle. My abuelita had cancer. She had breast cancer. She had a double mastectomy. I will never forget seeing that. And so when I see people recover from cancer, that's a miracle, but they're not going to put that on the news. Hey, Doña Paca, recovered that was my grandmother. Doña Paca recovered from cancer. She did
hmm
not make the 11 o'clock news. But those are the kinds of stories that we as people need to start telling.
I have something. I have to say this part too. If you're still laying in bed because you haven't been able to get out of bed today, thank you for tuning in to us. And I'll tell you why, because at least you know now you're not the only one that's stuck in your bed, in your bedroom, or in a really dark place right now. But there are avenues you can take. And if you don't even know how to read, because there's some people that literally um still struggle in that area. I had two brothers that I love very dearly, but they just didn't like going to school, period. So they were illiterate, but these two men that were illiterate learned how to do body and fender, and they did the most amazing low riders. They did body work, they did painting, and they just picked up a skill that was so amazing. So whatever your story is, and I shared something super private. Now both of them have passed away, and if they were here they'd be like, what the hell is she sharing? But you know what? I'm proud of my brothers. They went down different avenues. But one thing is that they both learned skills that provided a good life for them. They were able to make money and they did something that was really amazing. So, whatever it is that you're in, don't think you're the only one. Believe that. So, please just continue to have faith in yourself that you can do this. You can. May all of you guys just continue to grow. And whenever you guys would like some information, please send me a message. I will get back to you. Sometimes it's not right away because we do get a lot of messages, but we answer back.
That's right.
And I think that that's it. By all you beautiful listeners, thank you so much. We're so grateful for all the hard work that all of you people do because truly they're making the community a better place and our world a better place. And right now we need positive stuff like this to share. So thank you. Bye bye. And what do we love to say? A rato.
Al rato.